wild, bitch. 2-6 niggas wild, bitch. 2-6 niggas wild.
If I wasn't dabbing, bitch, I might just be the president. Please, with the begging you're dwindling your relevance.
Welcome y'all to a new episode of The What? My name is Eric, and thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening, however you're consuming this, watching it. I want to say thank you guys for all the support so far. This is episode 5. And this episode, I'm actually going to be dedicating to one thing. And that one thing is reviewing J. Cole's newest and potentially last album, The Fall Off. We're going to get into not all the tracks because it's 24 tracks long. I'm not reviewing every single song, but I'm going to, do a bit of a deep dive into it and give you my thoughts. And at the end, I'm just going to give you an overall review of what I thought. We'll be right back with the review for J. Cole's The Fall Off.
Roll your window down, holler from afar. If you start a bill, nigga, like your car, it's a real good chance he's the
2-6 niggas wild, bitch. 2-6 niggas wild, bitch. 2-6 niggas wild, bitch. 2-6 niggas wild.
And we're back with the review for J. Cole's newest and potentially final album, The Fall Off. I guess I'll just give you guys a little bit of a background with my history with J. Cole. History listening to his music. I remember the first thing I ever heard from J. Cole was his feature verse on Jay-Z's Blueprint 3, which I thought it was good. I thought it was, it was charismatic. It was something that you could tell it was obviously he was a newer rapper, but you could tell it was a hungry rapper. He knew he was going to be on a Jay-Z album, so he had to deliver his best verse. And I think he delivered a very solid verse. And it got a lot of attention of a lot of people, obviously, being on Jay-Z's album. And after that, I just remember hearing a bunch of singles from him. I remember the track with him and Miguel. I think that was actually Miguel's song, and he featured on it, but it was playing all on the radio. I'm trying to remember the tracks that were playing on the radio at the time. It was, like I said before, him and Miguel. Cole and Miguel. It was Workout. It was joint with him and Missy. I think that was the whole Sideline Story rollout, and I remember it releasing, and I listened to it, and I thought it was a cool album. I didn't think it was nothing crazy. I didn't even know he put out mixtapes. I never listened to the Come Up, the Warm Up, Friday Night Lights. I never listened to that back then. I was listening to Kendrick. I was listening to Odd Future, A$AP Rocky. I honestly didn't check out those mixtapes till a couple of years ago when they got approved on streaming. I think that was like 2 years ago. That was my first time listening to those mixtapes. And I thought they were good. If I had listened to them back then, I may have been more of a fan of J. Cole, because a lot of the songs he was rapping on some of my favorite beats at the time. Like, I think he rapped over what's that? The joint with him and Rick Ross. No, not that one. Damn, I don't know why it's not coming to me. But whatever song the Cole fans know, the Kanye beat he rapped over. Well, he rapped over Last Call, and then he rapped over the joint from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But yeah, at that point I had just listened to the debut album, which I thought it was cool. I think a lot of people, when they're trying to rag on J. Cole, they look at that first album as not as good, but I thought actually that album was pretty good. And then following that was, Born Center and Forest Hills Drive, which those albums didn't really connect with me, honestly. Like I think I was just paying attention to other guys that when I listened to J. Cole, it didn't really stand out for me to pay much attention to. And that's just being honest. Not saying he was never talented or he was terrible, he was bad. Not saying any of that. I'm saying that it just never interested me. I could say the first time where I'm like, okay, I think J. Cole is really bringing me to a point where, okay, I'm going to be looking out more for J. Cole was he started doing his feature run, which is around 2018, 19. I think that's when KOD came about, which I thought was cool. And then before that was For Your Eyes Only, which I wasn't really a fan of. But KOD, well, For Your Eyes Only, KOD, around that time, I think, when he started to ramp up more as a feature rapper. I can't name all the features he started doing, but I remember, I can't name them right now, but it was like, okay, he's displaying great lyricism. He's doing his thing. I'm starting to like J. Cole more. I'm starting to get it. And then I remember this was 2021, I believe. 2021 is when the off season came out, and I was really a big fan of the off season. I definitely liked the rapping. I liked the beats. I think with the off season, it was more. I think he pulled back from trying to be. He pulled back from having a theme to his album and trying to align this story, which I appreciate, of course, but for me with Cole, it never really landed. And with that, with his theme albums never really landing for me as a whole, there was only bits and pieces I could take from them. I could never immerse myself really as a J. Cole fan. But with the off season, he stepped away a little bit from having these overarching themes, and then with the off season, he stepped away from having these overarching themes around the album into let me just have some great beats, let me rap, let me just make songs. And him just making songs and him doing that, I think turned out to be a great project for me, which is still my favorite album from J. Cole. And from there, it's been him wanting to drop The Fall Off, which I think even before off season, the ending track for KOD was the intro to the off season, 1985. So really, he's been rolling this out since 2018, 2019, around that time. And this has been highly anticipated. And I also think, which I don't know if people want to admit it, I also think, which I don't know if people want to admit, but the battle kind of brought more anticipation for the album too. He did what he did, and people were kind of doubting J. Cole, and he was still having plans on putting it out. But with that happening and him doing the whole apology, I don't think it was something that he expected for the backlash to be what it was. But with the whole album having the steady pace of it being a rollout and the events happening, the anticipation grew, which turned out to be one of his most anticipated albums for me, especially it being his last. So I would say it was big expectations for this album, and rightfully so. I had big expectations from the disc 2 track 2 single, from a lot of the snippets we heard. I was very interested in seeing what he did. And the question is, did J. Cole deliver with the fall off? Let's get right into it, and I'll tell you at the end if he really got into the fall off. Now, when I'm turning on this album, which first of all, before he even had, before that he had put out basically a description of the the double disc, which I also forgot to mention. The Fall Off is a double disc. I think I mentioned in a previous episode where it's a double disc and not too many rappers. Only the great rappers have put out double discs, and I named them before, so you can look up the names. But J. Cole putting out the double disc and it being his final album, also more anticipation for that. So with the first disc, it's basically him being 29 and returning back to Fayetteville. And then in the second disc, it's him at 39 returning back home as well. So that was his theme. That was what he wanted to execute. And that's what his fans wanted from him. So with the intro being 29 intro, and with the country, well, it's probably more folk than country, but with the folk music playing, I thought it set a good tone for the beginning of the album. I kind of related to that song playing with, the themes of it, because it is, he's from South Carolina or North Carolina. He's from North Carolina, and I was actually recently in North Carolina. And if you've ever been down south, if you're going into a gas station store or any type of store, you're most likely to hear that type of music. So I think he set the tone for that, and he definitely set the tone for the first track, 2-6, which I thought was I thought 2-6 was dope. I thought it was a good banger track with the instrumental basically telling us where he's from. He's, giving us he's giving us this banger to start the album off. I was like, okay, I'm ready for the journey. I think this was going to be a good album. And actually, the first two songs, because after that you get Safety, which was like more of a boom bap. It kind of felt like a DJ Premier type of track with the instrumentals. It was actually the only thing missing from that song was scratches. If it had had some scratches, it would have definitely been a Premier type of beat. But yeah, it reminded me of like a Premier, something he'd probably give to Nas. Kind of like not It Ain't Hard to Tell, but like a Nas is like, it was like that type of boom bap. It was something that I dug. I think him telling the story of his childhood friends and them catching up, them giving him basically the catch up on their lives and what's going on around the neighborhood, and how certain people passed from living certain lifestyles, which I won't get into too much. But if you listen to the album and you get to the third verse, you'll understand where I'm coming from. So yeah, from the first two tracks, I thought it was gonna be a great album. 2 6 and Safety. I thought those were good tracks. Then it got into Run a Train, which I didn't know that was Future at first. It. All right, let me back up for a second. When I first heard the hook, when Future was doing the hook, I thought it was Cole imitating a Future type hook with him doing what he did. So I low key thought it was Cole because he says fuck do you know about my passion, fuck do you know about my pain, something something something, fuck do you know about Jermaine. So when he said fuck do you know about Jermaine, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is definitely J. Cole. He's rapping from third person perspective. And then it wasn't until what was the song that Future was on? Bunch Road Blues. It wasn't until Bunch Road Blues hits and then Future's on that. Then I put it together that Future was on Run a Train. So I was like, okay, cool. Future, which I thought Run a Train was cool. The Future hook definitely got stuck in my head. And when I'm reviewing these tracks, I just want to say that J. Cole is doing great on all the verses. I don't think he has a bad verse. He has some lines, which I'll get into it, that stick out where it's like, ugh, but whatever, cool. So Run a Train into Poor Things, which Poor Things wasn't bad. I really like that beat. Also, a lot of the beats on here were great. The use of the Boosie Badass sample, and then what he ends up talking about because Bootsy, he's using the song you wanna run your mouth, you wanna talk some shit. He does the from Set This Bitch Off, you wanna talk shit, you wanna run your mouth, you want some gangsta front in front of your fucking house. He got into that. He sampled that for the bridge of the song, and he got into, I guess, dissing someone from his area. It was that's according to the internet, and a lot of Cole fans. I'll believe the Cole fans, so I'll take their word for it, I guess. But apparently he's dissing some local dude. But yeah, didn't think it was a bad song. Great beat. Thought the verses was cool. I think his flow was dope. Then it gets to Legacy, and it's like, okay. I thought the first 2-3 songs set kind of a high for the album, and then it kind of started to cool off right in the middle of the first disc, which kind of got me worried because you get Poor Thing, which, like I said, it wasn't bad, but then you get Legacy, which is like blah. Bunch Road Blues, really didn't like that. I thought his verse was okay. I thought Future doing the whole Usher 7 o'clock on the dot, I'm in my drop top cruising the streets. I didn't really, it wasn't for me at all. Then Tim's was okay, which I thought she's always good. She's always doing her thing. Her voice is distinctive. So I immediately recognized that. And I thought she sounded good, but that song, nah, I'm good on that song. And I was kind of surprised that it's produced by The Alchemist. I've heard Alchemist give out a lot better beats, in my opinion. Especially, I remember Alchemist, well, he didn't give it to J. Cole, but Benny the Butcher rapped on, damn, why is it not coming to me? The joint with him and J. Cole, Johnny P's Caddy, from the Benny the Butcher song Johnny P. Caddy. The Benny the Butcher song Johnny P's Caddy, I'm pretty sure the Alchemist did that beat, and I feel like he should have gave Cole something like that, because what Cole did on Johnny B's Caddy, if you never heard it, go listen to it. He did what he did on that song. But yeah, Bunch Rose Blues, that's like damn near, it is a skip. I'm never playing that again. But then we get into who the F is you, and that's when I'm like, okay, the album came back for me. I thought both beats was good, because I had a beat switch with the second beat switch kind of reminded me of like Hot Boys, Master P type of track. I thought he delivered great with both verses. It was actually 3 verses, because he did 2 verses on the first beat, and then the last verse was the third beat. What I'm quoting is God sculpture, come view the pottery, ablaze by graveyards and destitute economies, full of thug bones refusing to move in harmony. That was fire. We know exactly what it means when niggas show 9s, 22s, 4, 5s. We study in numerology. That was fire. And even in the second verse, which I noticed he kind of had like a Eminem type flow with the syllables. When he says every bar is a part of the murder raft, every bar is a part of the murder raft, call Peter, them people chopping up birds in half. So it's kind of like E and A. He's using E and A, but he's pronouncing the A as a A. So every bar is a part of the murder raft. Call Peter, them people chopping a bird in half, breaking further down to whatever's gonna earn the math. Exchange pounds for dollars and never converted cash. And then near the end, he does a A and O syllable rhyming. He says name Jermaine Cole with Hall of Fame flows. From Kane roll with Kane sold on the dang low. Do anything for bankroll that you can't fold, but riding through the block as detectives in plain clothes, which likely means you'll soon be singing familiar tunes. Interrogation rooms getting questioned by Zane Lowe. Woo! Yeah, good raps. Yeah. This was definitely one of my favorites, and yeah, this one he was drawing me back. But then, and also after this, he gets into drum and bass, which I really like drum and bass. And it wasn't that this is the first time, this is the first song where the beat was very like I don't know. You can kind of do like a shoulder roll. I'm not going to shoulder roll. But you can kind of like do like a sway to it. And then he delivered with some fire verses. He said, and he delivers with some fire verses on this. And it also with this, it kind of goes back into the theme of the album of coming home and, you know, getting back into old habits like going to the club and, you know, meeting people that you haven't seen in a minute. And then seeing that one girl that didn't give you play back then, now you're a superstar and you want to go back and, you know, let her know what's up. And he's doing that at the end of the song. And then it goes into the let out, which I understand the let out from a narrative perspective, because previously the club gets shot up and then everyone is leaving. Well, the DJ's telling everyone to leave, and then everyone's chilling out in the parking lot. Everyone's chilling out in the parking lot, which is the let out. And someone starts shooting out at the let out because of what happened in the previous song. Which, the let out sounds good, but again, it's not something I'll ever play. Which was kind of like a theme with this first disc. It's like, okay, when I'm starting to enjoy a song, or two songs, or three songs, there's also a song that kind of brings the album down, like the let out. And then Bombs in the Ville hit the gas. I didn't like that either. And also with this song in particular, I almost turned the album off, honestly. Especially when it hit that last half. That second half, I'm really good on. That second half, I low-key thought he was going to get into Grippy Part 2. I ain't gonna lie. I heard the little Cash Cobain shit that Cash Cobain does, and I'm like, wait, and he's saying gat. He's saying gat. Why is J. Cole saying gat? No, it didn't work for me. Thank God it didn't go into the route I thought it was gonna go, and went into the Aaliyah sample. I forget the exact song Timbo did it on, but the Aaliyah sample kicks in and he's, confessing love for a girl, and it's okay. I did like that last verse where he's talking about FaceTime his younger self and things like that. That was cool. And the bonus track for the last song, Lonely at the Top, which I actually like as a closing track. I think the previous song shouldn't have been a closing track, and this should have been. Then there's a Benny the Butcher sample in there. I thought was good. Then it gets into disc 2, which I said before was him coming back to his hometown at 39. And with this 2, there is a maturity from his eyes, which this is before me getting into the music. There's a maturity that he's coming back with, which I assume he's going to show us and give us more experiences from his point of view, being 39 and coming back. And I was anticipating that, and I didn't get much from this 2, honestly. This 2 was most of this 2 I didn't like, honestly. Like the intro. I thought the intro was good with the guitars. Like the intro. I thought the intro was good with the guitars, the singing. I liked the things that were incorporated into the song on that first part. But it's not until, the ending verse. Well, actually, the ending verse is actually dope. I ain't gonna lie. Which the ending verse was actually dope. He does say, "Never in my life did I think I'd see niggas play with my name." I thought that was odd, considering what happened. But I won't get into much into that. But after that intro track, we get disc 2, track 2, which is the whole Nas Rewind track, which I noticed in disc 2, he took a lot more from other artists in terms of samples, interpolations, or just themes involving other artists, like the fall off is inevitable. Obviously, an ode to Nas, and then the Villas. That's the Keep It Thorough beat, and then with Erykah Badu, they sing the Elevators hook, the Outkast song Elevators, which is pulling from, another popular song. And then Old Dog is pulling from the P. Pablo song, Life Sentence. You got the DMX sample and him using the hook. It's just almost every song from the last disc, he's borrowing from someone else, which I don't know if, obviously it was intentional because he did it with almost every song, but I didn't understand why he did it. Maybe the Cole fans could cue me in, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, because like I said, the Village was cool. Old Dog was cool. Actually, no, Old Dog was good. I like Old Dog. P. Pablo hook was dope. The T.I. interpolation, but Life Sentence, Only You, Man Above. It's like 3 tracks in a row that are just not for me. It's just blah. Like, why did you add these 3 tracks? I didn't like it at all. But you get into Love Her Again, which is another anticipated song from J. Cole. He actually played this song, I forget, from one of the trailers at the end. He played this song, and then when you look at the track list, it was Love Her Again, and then Common song was I Used to Love Her, which is the metaphor for hip hop, and he's using a woman as a metaphor for hip hop, which J. Cole picked up from where Common left off, and he's telling his own version. Which I thought the verses were cool. I thought the storytelling, which honestly the storytelling throughout the whole album was dope. But with this track specifically, I thought it was cool until the ending, which he's like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but the ending, he's basically saying, all these things about hip hop, how it changed and moved down to the South and did this and this and that. And then he's like, oh, hip hop was always this way. He says, she was always this way. I just never realized it. Now I'm falling in love again. Which is like, okay, if that's what you pull from that, all right. But it kind of, because Lonely at the Top, he kind of already revealed that he's fallen out of love with hip hop, and that hip hop is, it's always the revelation that he had in Love Her Again. He already told us about in Lonely at the Top. So I thought that was confusing to go for that concept when you already told us kind of like the revelation already, but whatever. And then What If? I think What If was I've seen a lot of people give love. I've seen a lot of people give love to What If, the whole concept of Biggie and Pac apologizing, and him using Biggie flow to say what he wanted to Pac, and then him using the Pac flow say what he wanted to Biggie. The whole what if, we didn't have to go down this violent path, which obviously I support the concept. I support the sentiment. I don't think it was executed that well. I think him doing the Biggie flow was, I don't want to say corny, but I want to say I don't think he pulled it off. I don't think him using the Biggie flow, I don't think it gave off what he thought it would with me listening to it. And it's like, okay. And even I saw someone on Twitter put AI Biggie vocal to the J. Cole part when he's using the Biggie flow, and Then the part where he's using the Pac flow, they put the Pac AI vocal over it. And even with that, it sounds like J. Cole doing an impersonation of them. So it didn't really land for me. I think another rapper could have done it better, honestly. And then it gets the quick stop, and it's like a lot of these tracks just reminded me, and it was mostly on the second disc. It reminded me why I'm not the biggest J. Cole fan. It was just some concepts of him him pulling off the concept with the rewind. I thought was dope because he took what Nas did and applied it to his whole life, whereas Nas applied it to an event in his life, which to me, I thought that was dope. Him taking that concept to the next level. I don't think he did that with What If, or I don't think he did that with Love Her Again, which I think he wanted to do what he did with The Fall Off is Inevitable. Why is that track such a long damn? The Fall Off is Inevitable. Like, that's hella syllables. But what he did with that track, I don't think he executed as well with the other storytelling tracks, concepts. And then Quick Stop and The Whole World is the Ville. It's like, this is where it's like, okay, I want the album to end. I'm kind of over the album. Honestly, Quick Stop I think Quick Stop was me listening to that. It kind of confirmed the overall view of what I thought of the album. I thought specifically the song, I thought the instrumental was good. I thought the saxophone was great. I thought the violin coming in was great. I thought him doing like that this is another part of him doing Eminem. I thought him doing that weird Eminem flow didn't fit the album. I'm trying to remember what song I remember Eminem doing that flow before. I just don't remember where it was from, but I don't think it fit. It's like he's doing a it's like it doesn't fit. It doesn't sound good to my ears. I didn't really like it. But yeah, that just kind of closes out the second disc. The Whole World is the Ville. I actually like the last bonus track. I kind of was mad that it wasn't incorporated into the album. I think some of the risks that J. Cole took on this song, like a song like Ocean Way, I never heard J. Cole make a song like that ever. I think a lot of the risks he took with this album was kind of hit or miss, and that was one of the hits. But yeah, I almost damn near went through every track, which I said I wasn't going to, but hey, I did it. But overall, I thought it was a good album. I thought J. Cole executed what he wanted to do for his fans. Overall, I thought it was a good album. I thought J. Cole executed what he wanted to do for his fans. I think his fans are very happy with what he did, his final offering for them. Even with it being good, it's not anything I would return back to, honestly. And it's only because of a lot of those specific tracks that I named. I think him doing a double disc was a bit of a reach. I don't think he should have done a double disc. I think he could have found a way to involve this theme without it being 24 tracks. If it was, I don't know, like 15 tracks? Maybe 15, 16? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the track list, and then I'm going to post the track list, which I think would have made the album better. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm playing A&R for J. Cole. You should have did this track list instead of the bullshit you put out. It's like, nah, but yeah, I think, like I said, he did what he was supposed to do for his fans. His fans will be happy with it. I think they'll crown it an album of the year. Do I think it's album of the year? Not at all. It was not what I'll say I was disappointed. That's what I'll say. I was disappointed. I thought I was gonna get a classic type of project, and that's something that I didn't get. Maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe I expected too much from Cole, but what I heard before, I thought I was gonna get more of that, but I didn't. So yeah, good album. I enjoyed it for the most part, but just not returning to it. So yeah, But if you want to listen to it, go ahead, buy it, purchase it, go to a show, support J. Cole and his final endeavor as an artist. Well, actually, one more thing. I will say that this album did not feel like a retirement album, honestly. First of all, I don't think you're getting just Future, Tim's, and Burna Boy as features for your album. I know there's other features like Moray, and I think there's one more singer on there, and Erykah Badu did something, but I don't think those features would be something he would do for his final album, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I just don't think it would be final album worthy. Even the ending tracks, it just didn't give me final album. I think it may be a transition album, in my opinion. Maybe he may transition into something else that's music related, an alternate identity. I don't know. I think he will release another album. It may look like a different type of J. Cole, maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, that was the Fall Off review. That was the review for J. Cole's The Fall Off, and that was the episode. Thank you guys for listening, tuning in, however you're consuming us. My name is Eric, and I'm out. Peace.
I had this bad bitch uptown, she was had me fucked up in the head, bought the bitch diamonds and pearls, should've seen them shit shining on the wrist. Now money ain't a problem, see my dough is like, pulled out my bankroll on y'all niggas like, lost the Bruce went from 210 like, faggot wanna beat my blueprints, I'm like, had to hit the brakes on y'all niggas like, niggas getting bones on my block like, coming home within a half an hour like, front like they had the manpower like, more or less, more so I rip your torso, I live the fast life, come through in the